I'm joined live from Berlin by journalist Christoph Hörstel. Mr. Hörstel, thank you for joining me today here on ANEWS.
Good to be back with Turkish friends.
Thank you. Can I ask you, how seriously does Germany take the fight against terrorism? Is it like Turkey that it fights against terrorism in all of its forms?
Well, I'm a bit sad to have to say that Germany takes this fight seriously if Germany is concerned. Unfortunately, when the Turkish friends are concerned, there seems to be a double standard, and that is a very sad thing to say.
So particularly in reference to the PKK terror organization, we're aware that there are many cases have been opened in Germany over the years, and Germany recognizes that many German citizens have gone to fight alongside the PKK. Well, what is Germany actually doing about this?
Well, the picture is also double-faced. On the one hand, we see that circles and groups close to the PKK can openly advertise for donations in German papers. And they can openly show some support to the PKK very often. Not always the police comes in. So this is a very strange story. But for example, there's another experience from another case, and that was the staged coup d'etat in Turkey in 2016, when Germany took over some, former officers of the Turkish army and participants in the coup against President Erdogan, and has given them shelter in Germany. And this is also a very unhappy experience with how to say, a NATO ally can do to another ally. I will not only quote that the American friends have poured billions of dollars into the YPG forces in Syria and have strengthened them quite a lot, up to the extent that they were on the brink of building a state, a Kurdish state on Syrian territory. And that was clearly directed against Turkey. So all these activities are there. We cannot discuss the PKK or the HDP issue without looking at the overall picture. And the overall picture is that of a very unhappy one, where the so-called allies to Turkey are not truly behaving like friends. And that is what I, as a German, am ashamed of. If I have something to say, and I'm not just a journalist, I'm a party leader in Germany, and we have federal elections very soon. And if I get to say something in German politics, we will stop the double standards and make sure that we are friends of human rights, we are friends of democracy, but very certainly we are friends of Turkey.
Well, that's very good to hear, and that's the new Mitte party, I believe you're talking about. So
right.
Let's hope that that you get the opportunity to give this correct face to your allies. Now, PKK has been recognized as in Germany as a terrorist organization for many years. I've lost the dates just now, since the 1980s, I believe. This statement coming out of Germany yesterday that the HDP should distance itself from the PKK, isn't that an admission, maybe unwittingly, isn't this an admission that they are indeed one and the same?
I'm happy that at least that little bit came out of Germany, which was somehow positive. But I will tell you my gut reaction. It is something very spontaneous I had when I read this German statement, that in the same way you can ask, the Christian Democrats ruling Germany for the last 15 years to distance themselves from their old Chancellor Adenauer, after the Second World War. So that is somehow a little bit difficult to ask this thing from HDP. But if we get to think more seriously about the fact, then I think this is a little bit theoretical. Turkey is our ally within NATO, should be our friend. And if we think about these things, we should make sure that Turkey is not, handling this vital question of the Turkish nation easily. So if the Turkish government comes to the conclusion, which is, of course, a step back, we had already better times with the Kurdish minority in Turkey, come to the conclusion that they are ready to stop HDP altogether if they don't get clear of their terrorist connections, then, of course, we must respect that and we should support it. And as long as my Turkish friends can show me newspaper advertisements about donations to groups and circles close to the PKK here in Germany, I'm not fully trustful that Berlin is really aware of what some quarters here in Germany are doing towards this vital question for our dear ally Turkey.
There's just one correction I'd like to slip in. It's a semantic one in a sense, but it's this using the word PKK and Kurdish as implying that Kurdish people are supporting the PKK. And whilst it is in some respects a semantic one, a great number of Kurdish people, Turkish people of Kurdish ethnicity living in Turkey, as well as Kurdish people of Syrian ethnicity who are refugeed into Turkey, are being hosted by Turkey. They're certainly not supporting the PKK.
Thank you. I completely agree. Thank you for that clarification. It is very clear that a clear minority of the Kurdish people is supportive of the PKK. And this is, in fact, a guarantee that there's a healthy future for the Turkish nation. And I'm quite sure that even if the HDP is not, behaving correctly, that will not affect the majority of the Kurdish people who want to do an honest, living in the Turkish nation as a Kurdish minority. And I know that especially the present President Erdogan has opened the arms, he has opened the nation, he has said we want a very clear, tolerant policy, we want to make understandable for the Kurdish minority that they are respected, and he has done that, and it is a pity that HDP has not been ready to answer correctly and likewise to this offer of the Turkish president. That is a sad story.
Yes, indeed. And one final question. Yesterday I was speaking to the Turkish ambassador to Prague, and he was telling me about how let's say the fundraising activities of the PKK terrorists in Czechoslovakia extend to extortion. Is the PKK not a threat as well to the German population if it's allowed to carry out its activities unchecked in Germany?
Yeah, I have heard about that. I have heard about that in Germany too, and there have been complaints by, middle-class shop owners and restaurant owners and things like that, that they were under strain, under pressure, under blackmail from the PKK within Germany. And also there, I do have a feeling that Germany could greatly improve its, control of this kind of activities. And I know that there's, in some quarters in the German political arena, there's a kind of leniency or laissez-faire in the handling of the PKK-affiliated groups and activities.
Well, Christoph Hörstel, thank you so much for your analysis of the situation. And let's hope that the allies can begin to behave as friends and allies. Thank you so much for joining me today on ANEWS.
Oh, thank you. Welcome.